Hello, it's Bailey, and I created a TBR game. So if you've been watching my videos, you may know I've been playing around with TBR games since I participated in Becca's Bookoplathon in September, and then I kind of tried to make my own Bookopoly board, but I decided I wanted to kind of create my own, something that would better suit what I'm trying to do, the amount of books I want to read in a month, and also just prompts that match my reading more. I did mention when I was playing with Bookopoly that I wanted to do something that also dictated like when I buy books and unhaul books and just more than just reading prompts, and I think I've created that here, so I'm really excited to share it with you guys, and please do let me know what you think of my game down below. I was telling my friends in our group chat that this definitely makes me feel like a little kid again, like I completely created a game, which is so fun, but let me show you the board. So this is what I've created, and it is in my bullet journal for now, and the only reason it is the size and shape that it is because that's how it fit on the pages. Basically it is a 9 by 13 rectangle basically. I will be playing this game with a deck of cards, and so I'm going to show you now what each of these cards is going to mean. I did leave 2 jokers in this deck, and why this is going to be called Jokes on Me is because if I draw a joker, I basically have to start over but still read all the books that I've already chosen. Some of the cards, like an ace, a 5, a 9, or a 10, are just simply numbers, and that's the amount of spaces I will move around the board. And the rest of the number cards all also move me around the board, but are also assigned a separate task as well. So I'm going to get into that now. If I get a 2, I will move 2 spaces and also do the prompt that I land on twice. If I get a 3, I will do every single prompt on the way to that 3 once. A 4, I got some inspiration from the game Sorry, and 4 will mean I'm moving backwards 4. A 6 is kind of like a split card, meaning that I will move 3, do that prompt, and then move 3 more and do that prompt. So this one will get me 2 prompts. A 7 means that I will move across the board in like a mirrored fashion. So if I am on the right side, I will move to that space on the left. If I'm on the bottom, I'll move to that space on the top, etc. And an 8 simply means that I will do the opposite of what that prompt is. Now, the face cards are going to be what is deciding my purchasing and my unhauling. So if I get a jack, I will not be moving around the board. I stay where I am, but I have to unhaul a book that month. And same goes for a king and a queen. I do not move around the board, but if I draw either of these, I get to purchase a book. So those are the basic rules. I hope that makes sense. I think as you see me play, it'll probably make a little bit more sense. So I am excited to get right into doing that. I do want to say kind of what I'm hoping to get on my TBR this month. And November is when the first round of the Goodreads Choice Awards will be presented to us. So I am planning on trying to get to as many 2020 releases this month as I can. So I'm going to try to work those in as well as I can. I also will be participating in the 1,000 Doors-a-thon in the first week of the month. So the prompts for that readathon are not getting announced ahead of time. So I'm just hoping anyway that some of the books I choose for this might work for some of those prompts, or maybe I won't end up with too many books on this and I'll be able to work everything in. But yeah, essentially this TBR won't be starting completely until the second week of November. I did a few like test rounds of this to really test how many books this would end up giving me on my TBR each month. And it, for the most part, landed me between 10 and 15 books, which I think is perfect. That's about how much I would read. You know, 15 is very manageable for me, but it is, you know, on the higher side. I could end up with a little more than that. I could end up with a little less. But for the most part, this game will get me between 10 and 15 books. And since this is a game, I did decide to place a punishment. So if I don't finish all of my prompts this month, my punishment the following month will be that I have to read all of the books in the order that I land on them. So this month I will not be reading in order. It's the first one, so I will just be hoping to get to all of the books throughout the month. Okay, so I don't actually have a tripod, so I'm going to try to hold this as steady as I can through this. We also have a friend real close here. He really wants to hang out. But yeah, this is the board. I know it's not pretty. I'm not an artist. But yeah, it also has all my rules that I already said right on the board here. So as they come up, you'll be able to see. I'm not going to go through every single prompt on here. I think it's a little more fun if you kind of see them as they come to me. So yeah, I'm excited to get started, and here we go. First card is a king, which means I get to purchase a book this month. Next is a jack, which also means I have to unhaul. Then we're finally moving with a 9. And that lands me on start a series. So the first thing I landed on was start a series. And what I'll be reading for that is One of Us is Lying by Karen M. McManus. I've been hearing great things about this series. I know definitely the first and second books are out. I'm not sure if that's all there is, but this definitely has multiple books. And I bought this fairly recently. I'm excited to get to it, but it's not a 2020 release. Next we have a 6, which the rule for is to split 3 and 3. So I'll go 1, 2, 3. I land on book of the month, and then I'll also do 1, 2, 3. Reread a random number. Then I landed on book of the month, which is a great pick for this considering book of the month always offers new releases. So basically everything I've received in the last year is a 2020 release. And I chose to go with One by One by Ruth Ware. And I've been highly anticipating this, but I've heard mixed things, so I'm excited to see what I think for myself. Then I landed on reread a random number, which is not going to help me with my 2020 releases either, but I did count how many books I had, and then I random number generated. So I currently have 187 books on my read portion of my shelves, and the first random number generated number I got was 112, which I will not be rereading anything that I have read within the last 2 years. I'm trying to get to more older stuff. So 112 landed me on The Right Swipe by Alicia Rye, which I actually read this month in October, so I won't be rereading that. So the second number I got was 175, which I did a lot of counting, but I got a good pick, and I landed on Nimona by Noelle Stevenson, and this is actually a graphic novel. And I read this in 2016, and I gave it 4 stars, so I'm excited to get back into it and see if I love it again this time. Next I have an ace, which is my most recent purchase. Next I landed on recent purchase, and I did actually make an Amazon order on Prime Day when books were buy 2 get 1 free. So I had 6 books to choose from as my most recent purchase, but I am trying to get to my 2020 releases, and I'm also hoping to read as many as possible of the thriller picks. So I am going to read Playing Nice by J.P. Delaney. This is me anticipating that this will end up on that list. So hopefully I'm not wrong, but this is something I'm really, really excited for. And I actually, in my order, accidentally ordered this twice. So I already texted my stepmom and was like, hey, I got this twice. Do you want the other one? So she's going to take my other copy, but I felt really silly when they showed up. Then a jack. I will be unhauling another book. an 8, which is due opposite of the prompt. So this says shelf 6. Next, I landed on shelf 6, which on my board, you'll notice that I have spaces for basically shelves 1 through 8, which is currently how many shelves I have full. And basically, these prompts mean that I am going to be reading from a certain set of authors by their last name. I organize my shelves by author last name, so that's just how that goes. But I was supposed to do the opposite of shelf 6 for this, which would be shelf 3. I am picking from author last names from H-A to L-U. The book I picked for that I don't actually own yet, but I'm going to be reading The Nothing Man by Catherine Ryan Howard, which that's what the cover looks like. A queen, I get to purchase a book. A 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, highest rated. Then I landed on highest rated, which I do not make myself pick the absolute highest rated. I'm picking from the top 5 answers that came up from that, but the book I'm actually picking was the highest rated on my Goodreads shelf. And I will be reading The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. Ace gets me to a debut. For a debut, again, I'm trying to fulfill, hopefully predicting some of the thrillers that will end up on the list for the Goodreads Choice Awards. And so I'm going to go with My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. And then a 10, a nice big number there. And that lands me at perfectly finishing. And I will do that prompt, which is random number. And then we wrapped up this TBR way quicker than I was anticipating for my first round. I ended up really lucky and only getting 8 books. But my final roll landed me on random number. So I random number generated my owned TBR, which I own 33 unread books right now. And I got the number 19, which landed me on a good one because this is a 2020 released thriller and a book of the month book. And it is The Holdout by Graham Moore. So here is what I own that I will be getting to in the month of November. I'm super excited with how this ended up working out for my first time. I did end up with quite a few 2020 releases, as well as, you know, basically almost all thrillers, which kind of is what I was hoping for anyway. But I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed this concept. Let me know what you think down below. And thanks so much for watching my November TBR. Bye!